Hey party people, today we are here to talk about Recall. Now, if you know me, this is the same design team as Revive, which is one of my best games. It's still one of the best games. I absolutely think it's one of the best designs, kind of fiddly, but I absolutely love the payoff in that game. The card system is just too damn good. It's just too damn good. All right, so here we are with Recall, which you can already hear some of the early reviews. It's got some Revive in it. It does have Revive DNA, but I'm going to say Revive-y. How about that? We're going to say Revive-y a lot in this review. So you get Revive-y stuff, so you can get past that in your head, and then you can make a choice whether this design excels beyond that, which I believe it does, and we'll talk about that later. But I want you to make that choice yourself while I try to cover as much of the elements as possible. Thematically speaking, you are trying to basically discover more. You gain more knowledge and you'll score knowledge cards based on that, but then you still have your tribes. But there's an interesting thing that you can do with said tribes when you're interacting and gaining more knowledge. It's definitely not Revive-y. It's way different than I was expecting. And there's different things when you pull your stuff back, your key cards back, and you recall. It's got a way that you unlock your board that's really interesting as well. So there's a lot of things that definitely differentiate it, but there is that DNA in there. Let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to show you on the table. I'm not going to show you every rule, not how to play. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, people, we have 13 turns to get this all right and do well, but I'm not going to go through 13 turns. I'm going to give you the concepts of the game. Hopefully you get an idea of what's going on, and then we can talk about it on the other side here. So what you're looking at is our expansion, right? We are trying to expand across this board, very much Revive-y. We're revealing tiles, we're revealing these lands. And how we interact with these lands, we're going to be doing several things. We're going to be excavating, and we're also going to be developing specific types of buildings on different types of terrain. We'll be going out to camps and triggering them sort of Revive-y like rivers. We'll also be expanding out to these spots here where we can gain knowledge. And when we gain knowledge, we can gain endgame points based on how far we up on our knowledge, or we can build a monument, and these are going to be places where monuments are going to be revealed, and they're going to be specific, and you're going to get these kind of cool benefits. You got your free action, what do they call them? Crates. That's similar to something that's Revive-y. But then you also have this track over here. So as you excavate and you dig for these types of things here, you'll be able to move up the track based on the colors of those. They will come out randomly from the bag. You also have relics cubes that will interact with your board as well. As you collect them, they will help you move up these tracks, but at the end of the game, they will also, compared to the columns, give you points as well. So there's a lot going on, but I'm not going to give you the whole thing here, but I'll just tell you, as you move up these tracks, more knowledge will be available, and the knowledge you get will give you different texts. Okay, so you'll get different texts, which will attach to your board like the one I have right here. And then you'll also get more access to tribes, because that's the theme. You're expanding your knowledge, interacting with these tribes, and going out and about, right? You're discovering more knowledge. And then on the left side, as we move through our 13 turns, we'll get to these 1, 2, and 3 spots. And as we do that, we have to make a choice. Do we want to go with this one or that one? And for this one, do we go with this one or that one? We get the benefits for them, but then we also get to choose how we're going to score at the end of the game. So whatever you invest in, not only will we score that, but we'll also score the bottom of that card. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. These are your key cards, and the key cards are the key to the game. Yes, they are. This is how you will take actions in the game. You'll be putting them inside of your board, and when you insert them, you can interact with them by putting these inside your board. Those will give you points as you upgrade them. But in the beginning, you just have your key card, you'll slot it into the board, and then you'll take the actions that are associated with it. Now, you also can, on your turn, recall instead. And when you recall is when you basically trigger everything that's on your board, and we'll get there. But other things that you need to see over here, these are the different types of buildings you can build. They're based on terrain. Okay, so we have our specific buildings that are made for like this kind of rocky lands, and you'll see these buildings on here. You'll see the ones that are made for the sand, the forest, and I think the desert or something like that. So the desert, forest, or whatever. And then you also have the monument specific ones as well. You also have your different types of crystals that you can upgrade. It's 3 to 1. So if I want to go up to this thing here, I would have to do 3 to turn this into 1, and I have to turn 3 of these into 1. But there are so many different ways to upgrade these. And then you have your different actions in the game. I'm going to explain that in a second because I'm going to take a freaking turn, all right? So before I do that, I just want to let you know kind of what's going on. You do have factions in the game. Very revivey, right? But that's not, you know, like having powers and having a whole bunch of abilities is not like stick to one game. But anyway, so you have different ones that are more simple, like I can turn a crystal into upgrading one of my key cards. Okay, cool. Very easy, right? I put my little extra action guy on there. There are some that only cost 1. You can activate them multiple times, but you have to spend more money. And then you have ones that are a little bit more complicated. And this one here is a pig farmer. You have like a whole bunch of pig components. You have a whole bunch of pig components and you're putting them out there on the farms. And then you can pick them up. And when you do, you actually can keep them for points at the end of the game, but then you also can use them for other things too. So that's, you know, things can get a little bit more complicated. Mine is a little bit more of a easier conversion resource character. And then there's these ones that are blind. And then we also have technology that's blind. But then we also have these goals. Around the 9th or 10th round, between the 9th and 10th round, you're going to have to choose which goal you want to keep and pursue. In a solo game, you have 3 of them. In a regular game, you'd have 2 of them. You would choose between the 2. But the catch is at the 9th and 10th round, I have to decide which one I want to do. I discard one, and I get the benefits at the bottom of this one. So if I discarded this, I would get 2 crystals and a crate. And the crates are free actions, similar very much to Revive. So that's why I'm calling this game Revive-E, but you'll see the different elements here. All right, so I start over here on the bottom. I got my 3 people, and then I'm looking at my key cards here, and I want to take an action. And what I do is I just simply slot it into that action, and I do it. So for example, I can recruit more guys, and guys are kind of the economy of the game. They're going to allow you to do things. So for example, if I wanted to build something, I would have to sacrifice a guy that's in that area. If I wanted to build a building, I have to sacrifice a guy. If I wanted to excavate from this place, I have to sacrifice a guy. So there's a lot of sacrifice in this game. So you got to pay attention to how you get more people. And sometimes you may just have to flat out go here, but you can spend more resources to generate more people. Then you have this develop action. This develop action just basically means you're going to develop one of these and take them. When you take them, you're going to gain more knowledge in that realm. So that's kind of how that goes. Then you have moving across water, because water is not something you can walk through. There's also volcanoes you can't walk through. There's a character that allows you to do that. And then there's one that you can do 2 times in action, but then there's reveal. We'll get to that in a second, but revealing is opening up the board more, you see more. And then you finally have one that does everything. All right, so that gives you an idea of everything that's going on. I lost a piece that I cannot find at this point. Oh, here it is. So let's just go ahead and get on. I'm going to show you a couple turns, give you an idea. So let's just say I wanted to move. All right, so let's say I'm moving here and I want to move into this, and I'm going to move 1, 2, and I can pay more resources to move further, but I'm going to go ahead and move 1. Okay, and I can move myself as a group, and I can leave people behind like that. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, and then I'm going to go 2 like that. All right, so I'm moving 2. What that does is when I move through these relic cubes, I have to sacrifice a guy. Okay, so it'll say on my board to sacrifice a guy. So then I'll sacrifice this guy here, and then I get the relic cube and I place it on top of here. So this guy goes away, he goes back in my supply, off into the world of oblivion. Okay, and then he goes up this thing like that. Get some points. I'm going to get some points at the end of the game. A lot of points are at the end of the game, so you have to pay attention to that. But during the game, you have an opportunity as you score points to unlock even better versions of these actions. And they're double-sided, and you get to choose the different types that you want. So, I mean, that's really smart. That's definitely different, and you can unlock different things in there. That's pretty cool. All right, so I got that one. Now, so now that I moved 2, and I'm actually going to move, I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to spend a crystal, so I move 3. So that'd be 1, 2, I spent that and did that action, and then 3. Okay, so I'm going to go 3 here. All right. Yeah, buddy. All right. So what I'll do is I will spend this, to upgrade my area here. So what I'm looking at is the white, the gray, and the black here. So I see white. I'm already up the track in white. Why not go up the white? Okay. So what I'll do is I'll spend one crystal here, and as you have less and less of these here resources, you're going to have to pay more and more. But the benefit is that you can go further up the track as well. So if there's 2 here, I would have to have one of these. If there was 1 left here, then I'd have to have one of the highest ones there. So since there's 3, I only have to spend 1 of the lowest one there. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the white. I take that off, and then I can move up 2 up that track. So now I'll go 1, 2. Now what happens as I unlock this? This is where the game starts to really unlock. First, I'm going to get 1 point, okay? 2, I'm going to be able to see what this tribe is, okay? So I get to see the tribe, and I don't get it yet. I get it when I get up to here, but I get to see it, okay? So when I see it, I also get to look at these technologies, and I get to unlock them. Now there are 4, there should be 4. Oh, Lord Jesus, I have extra. All right, so I have 4 to choose from. And some of them, this one right here, this exosuit says, hey, I don't have to spend a guy. I'm immediately gonna choose that one, okay? But there's other ones here, like I can portal, so I can like teleport to places. This one here, when I put out one of these buildings, I also get to move up any knowledge track. This one here, when I activate these things, when I recall, I get double the action. There's some that give you double for this resource. There's just a whole bunch. And these are revealed now. So they're revealed now. When somebody comes back to grab them in the multiplayer, they can take a look at those and then choose one as well. They're just not 100% visible. All right, so that was my action here. Now, since the round is over, and that would be a round of players, the round is over, okay? So now I have my other action here, and maybe I just want to reveal some stuff. All right, so I think I'm going to reveal some things, partly because I just want to see what's going on in the world, okay? So I will go out into the world. I will reveal, and as long as I'm on this tile, as long as I have a person on this tile or a building, I can place this out here. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this and reveal. That's a little eye opener there. You flip it open, and you can turn this however you want. I'm going to turn it this way just because I want access. I don't want more water here. I want more access here. And there could be camps. There could be all kinds of stuff here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this here, and then I have to go get things out of the bag. So as you refresh this stuff, they're going to come out of this random bag here, and you're going to have the relic cubes come out randomly. You're going to have these other resources come out randomly. Okay, so it's important to be aware of what they are and what comes out and how many of there are. But you're going to come out randomly like so. So I get to reveal. Now, if there were other players on this tile, I'm just using these pigs. There'd be other players. Let's just call these 2 other players, right? I would get a point for myself, and then I get a point for every other person that's there. So I will get 3 points for that. I'm going to simulate giving myself 3 points. But then I'm also going to place this, and there would be a stack according to how many players are here. And then I would give this. You see what I'm doing here? I'm just cheating to show you the game, okay? I'm not showing, this is not a learn to play, okay? That's what we're doing here. All right, so I unlock this. I'm going to put this in D, and I actually have a choice. I have 3 times. I can make 3 choices here on the actions, or I could just do 4 and only have 2 as a selection. So this is very important for the expansion of your game. I think I'm going to take this because I'm really inefficient. I make bad choices. Okay, so I have that. I've revealed. Now I get to move 1 space. Now, mind you, if I move through these relic cubes, I do have to spend. But that's okay because I do want to have more cubes. Now, why would I want to have more cubes? Now, as I get more cubes, I have to spend more guys, but I get better benefits and I can move further up the tracks if I do. So it's like, it's kind of a reward and a blessing and whatnot. But maybe I just want to go back and build a building, you know what I'm saying, for God's sakes. Like, maybe I just want to go and build a green building. Well, all right, well, what am I going to do here? What am I going to do? I'm sorry. Actually, I'm going to do this just to show you a building build here. So I'm going to do one of these numbers. Solo mulligan. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know me. Okay, you know me. I'm going to put it down just like that. All right, cool. Okay, so now I put it down like that. I got my points because there was other people on there. And then I'm going to move my guy. I'm going to keep this guy here. And then I'm going to move my other one here. Okay, so I can move one here. Now, if I had other actions, I could do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to build one of these buildings. And as you can see, you probably can't, it's a little too high, but if you look on the right side of the board here, it's going to give you these different benefits for when you build the buildings. It's also going to tell you the type of places you can build. So this one has like a kind of a monument looking thing, but it's not a monument. You're going to put these buildings down because I can't remember the name of the buildings. I don't know why, but maybe I want to do one of these numbers. I take this one here, which allows me to pull one of my key cards out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull one of my key cards out, and I'm going to use my free action to stop myself from having to spend a guy. Okay, so the guy is staying. All right, so the guy is staying, and then I put that there. Now, what happens is, let's say I run out of guys, right? I run out of these people. What'll happen is if I recruit again, I can put them out in the starting space, or I can put them with other people or buildings. So I have the opportunity to like keep moving out. It doesn't stall out completely. You have options. All right, so I did that. I developed, okay, and just remember I can excavate or I can build buildings when I'm developing. And then that would be my turn, but I also got that ability. So I think I'm gonna pull this out right here. And then we'll go ahead and take one more action, and then we'll do recall, and then I'll kind of run through the rest of the game a little bit. So what I'll do is I will slide this in here, okay? Now, once again, your turn is really just sliding your key in, or you can recall, take the actions that are in there, we'll show you that, and then do the free action, which is place it on here, converting crystals, and then using these crates as you see fit. I also could use my character power, but I don't have tribe power, but I don't really have anything. Now, what does this water thing mean? What that basically means is I can fly through the water over here. I can basically cross the water. When I cross the water, though, I'm going to have to get rid of this cube. So as I cross this, you can't dodge a relic cube. You can basically use it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use this guy here. He's out of there, and then I will. I'm just saying these are guys apparently, and then we'll place this on here, and then we'll move them up one on that track. Now that would be my whole round. Okay, that was 3, and then we move that up, and then what I do is I would recall. So then that would be my 4th turn. So when I recall, what I do is I take how many key cards I have, and then I will take cubes, these green cubes, and they actually give you 5 green cubes. These cubes help you kind of track what you're doing, because sometimes you may have a lot of stuff going on and you don't remember which ones you did or whatever and whatnot. So you may have to cover these up, and there's a lot of comboing in this game. But what you also can use these for is to help you based on how many cards key cards you have. You would go, hey, I use 2 key cards. I can cover up these slots in the game. Now, it's so important that you pay attention to that, because on the right side of these, it tells you exactly what you could get. So these, of course, are going to give you more points as you go up the track. These right here are going to give you things that upgrade your key cards, help you expand. So you definitely want to pay attention to those, because not only do they give you better things on these key cards, they also give you more points. And there is something that I'm about to get to right now that has to do with points. So it's really important to pay attention to that stuff. Now, so when I recall, I would take these 2 pieces and I would put them inside of the spots that I have revealed. This is not Revivey, right? So I'm going to go ahead and place this here so I can upgrade this. And then I'm going to place this here so I can get one of my guys. And I'm going to put them right where my building is right there. And then that would be my turn for that. Then we move on. As you can see, I haven't done much. to this here. So now we are at this point here. Our first age, I'm just going to call it age, is over. And what we would do is we would decide whether we want to go here so that we score. We're going to score this at the top, but I would specifically score this at the bottom at the end of the game. So what does that mean? This is going to be the points that are on here, right? But this one also says three times how many of these that I have, the black ones. So I want to upgrade and keep upgrading from my white to my yellow to my green to my black, okay? Or this one says, hey, you get the points for how high you are on that track, but then you also get points for the, I believe this is, you just get more points for the ones that you have, so you get the double score. This one says your highest knowledge track, and then you also get points for your second place, and so on and so on. But you're gonna have to make that choice, but also when you make that choice, you either get this for going that way, or this for going this way. And I would do something like this, because I'm gonna really focus on maybe getting that. I would get the crate. Remember, I can use the crate for anything. So I can use the crate, and when I get the crate, I can use it at any point. Couple other things that are in the game. That's kind of the game in a nutshell. It's not like it's crazy. It's more of a combo-driven game that you kind of unlock the mastery of the game. But these abilities, as you move up the track, and let's say I got up here, I'm going to get more opportunities to use these. So if I'm going up, and I'm cheating right now, baby. Here we go. If I go up these tracks right here, I'm going to have a whole bunch more of these. I'm going to have, you know, more of these as well. So now I'm taking extra actions on my turn. I'm going back and forth. And then as I even move up these tracks, what's going to happen is these pieces are going to come out. So now that I've gotten to these levels, I'm going to have access to these guys. So now I have actions that I can go, boom, I want to activate their power. Boom, I want to activate their power. Free actions now. I want to activate their power. And you know what? And then I'm going to do that. You know, like, so you have all this stuff going on your turn. You're trying to pay attention. These are all free actions. So you got to pay attention to what's going on. Like, for example, this one here, you get to score twice for these. This one here, it's ×2 for the benefits here. I believe that's ×2 for each one of these that you place. This one here, he's got extra components, and some of these guys actually have extra components. This one here, you put on water right here, and then whatever buildings you have around it, you get benefits for it, so that's pretty cool. But this is also treated as 2 different types of lands. So there's a lot of very, very interesting things going on in here. But I want to get to my thoughts. As you can see, this is a very combo-driven game. I should mention this too. So like once you get to a point where you're out here, you'll see these little things arrive here. You'll see the ones with the monuments on them. You can, once you get out there and you build one of these guys on here, you're going to put this on here, and you're going to get the points at the end of the game, but you're also going to get that benefit as well. So you actually have a choice of these 5 here. And of course, in this publisher's true fashion, they have so many options and more tiles. And there's not any more tiles here, but there are more of these. There's quite a few of these. There's like 12 factions, 12 tribes, and I think there's just these, but they have both sides as well. All right. I think I got everything. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So my final thoughts on Recall. It's revivey. Let's get that out of the way. It has some of that DNA, right? I've said it in the beginning. I say it during the play. It's revivey, right? But it has a lot that isn't the same. So I'm going to kind of go into the things that I like, didn't like, and who is it for. So I think for the people who love Revive like I do, with the expansion, taking it to another level. This is the type of game where you have to say like, well, I'll just say it like this. I'm the reviewer here, right? I would say both of them can coexist in your collection. I think Recall is just a tad lighter, but definitely gives you a lot more rewarding, pleasing combos, which makes it is a good game in its own. So as you can tell, I have a positive review for this game, but that's not without flaw, trust. For the people who are on the fence or did not like Revive, hopefully you got an idea of what differentiates this game, and I'll kind of go through those as we go through the positive and negatives, but specifically. But I think that if you're on the fence, this might be a better introduction product for you. I think if you wanted more interaction, there's not as much interaction. That's not going to be there. But I do think the comboing is going to be a lot more pleasing in here versus Revive, which has a lot heavier process, but both of them have that randomness baked in. So let's just go ahead and get to the negatives. There is some randomness here. Like you're pulling stuff out of a bag, pulling things out of a bag and not knowing what things are, that's just part of the design. I don't know if you like that, or I liked it, and sometimes, but it didn't go in my favor sometimes. So I didn't get to pull what I wanted to from the bag, which may have affected my goals. I don't know if I like that, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I will tell you, one of the things that I did not like is the graphic design. Like I like the art, but it's like something like about it gets in the way of I know what's going on between the tiles. That's kind of the best way I can describe it. It's something about the terrain looks, and as you, I don't know, it just looks weird. It's kind of hard to tell unless your board's a little warped or something like that. It's just hard to tell between tiles. And I kind of had that with Revive as well. So it's like Recall and Revive had that similar issue to me. And maybe they need to look at that, maybe put some like kind of color on the rim of the, you know, a thing like that. I think that's something to be explored. I would like a little bit more competitive interaction between characters. That would have been really nice. I was hoping that that would be a level up. It's not the worst, but you really are just paying out if someone's there. That's not a big deal. I don't know if I even explained it yeah, I kind of maybe talked about it a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal because it doesn't feel like it. You get access to more than just yours. You get access to those. That's awesome. That was an awesome and like welcoming thing. I was like, damn, this is awesome, right? And then also having the paths, the different paths, and they have both sides. So you have a lot of variability in this game. So then you're flipping these, you have these both, and you have options and benefits you get along the way. That to me is pretty cool too. I will just say that key card system is very rewarding as you start to upgrade your tiles. But the more important part is as you unlock your board, what you start to do strategically, because you have like a strategy like, hey, I need to figure out how I want to unlock my board. Not only because, hey, what I see out on the map, but also what I want to do when I recall. So like maybe I want points when I recall. So I got to remove this, and this. Or maybe I want, more guys to recruit more guys. So that I want to unlock that, and that. So it's like you start to like think of how many different ways can I play this to appeal to what's going on the board, and then also what's going on in my endgame cards. So you have a lot of things to consider. Plus, as you venture further and further out, the knowledge tracks may become involved because of the path you have. Also, where you are on the track. So as you unveil some of these more monument areas on the outskirts, that becomes important. So it's like how much players open the board up can also affect how the entire game is going to play out now. Like it changes up everything. So you're just like, oh, wow. So like now that he's opened up that, I can go get these cubes. Now, I just, like even the cubes part, it's like, even though it's random, it's like, there's still opportunity. There's still opportunity. They're just like, there's still like this small opportunity. It's just that the cost is big, all right? So maybe I'm a little up in my, maybe I'm just a little salty about the games I lost. Or I'm like, oh man, I didn't get to do that, all right? But there is that like nice little benefit during the game of going up the knowledge tracks and then also getting the points at the end of the game. So I guess I was about to nitpick and then I realized I was just a sore loser. All right, so what do I truly believe? Is this game game I would recommend? If you're going to Essen, I would definitely say stand around, demo it a little bit, but definitely I think you're making a solid purchase. I definitely give this game one of my highest recommendations for the year of 2025. I think it's going to be a top 10 game. As a matter of fact, I know it's a lock for a top 10 game for me this year. It's a lock. We're getting to the end of the year. I know what games I played, and this is one of the best 10 games I played this year. And that would be the second game by this design team. So they're churning out the hits, and I want more of those hits. Keep bringing on those hits. And hopefully work on that graphic design because it is starting to bother me. With that, I hope I helped you make an informed decision today because, of course, I can't tell you what to do with your money, but I can give you my suggestions, and hopefully I was informative. All right, folks, take care. You have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me on MVM. Thanks for watching all of our Essen coverage during this last couple weeks. All right, take care.